The auditorium was packed. Hundreds of people filled the seats, murmuring in anticipation. Some were excited, some were skeptical, and some were simply there because they had nothing better to do. But one person in the audience was different. Daniel sat in the back row, his arms crossed, his heart heavy. He had lost his job 3 months ago, and no matter how many interviews he attended, rejection followed him like a shadow. His confidence was gone. He felt like a failure. His friend had dragged him to this event, saying, "Just listen to this speaker, he might change your perspective." Daniel didn't believe in motivational speeches. Words couldn't change a reality. But he had nothing to lose, so he stayed. The lights dimmed. A spotlight hit the stage, and a man walked up to the microphone. He wasn't dressed in a fancy suit. He didn't look like a billionaire. He looked like an ordinary man. But when he spoke, the entire room fell silent. "Good evening, everyone. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like giving up?" A murmur spread through the crowd. People nodded, some hesitated. Daniel smirked. "Of course, who hasn't?" The speaker continued, "I know that feeling well. In fact, 10 years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are now, broke, lost, and convinced that my dreams were impossible." Daniel raised an eyebrow. Another rags to riches story? He almost tuned out, but something about the speaker's tone kept him listening. The man took a deep breath. "I want to tell you a story about a man who thought his life was over. This man lost everything. His job, his savings, his confidence. He applied to over 50 jobs and every single one rejected him. Sound familiar?" Daniel sat up straighter. One night, after another rejection email, he sat alone in his tiny apartment and asked himself, "What's the point of trying anymore?" The audience was completely silent now. He was ready to quit, but then he heard a small voice in his head. It asked him a simple question. What if you keep going? What if tomorrow is the day everything changes? The speaker's voice grew stronger. And so, he decided to try one more time. Just one more. And that one more turned into another and another. Until one day, he walked into an interview that changed his life. Daniel's hands clenched into fists. He had lost count of how many interviews he had failed, but what if tomorrow really was the day everything changed? The speaker smiled. That man was me. And I stand here today, not because I was the smartest, not because I was the most talented, but because I refused to stop. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about surviving it. The words echoed in Daniel's mind. So here's my challenge to you. Try again, even when you don't feel like it. Even when the world tells you no, because every no brings you closer to the right yes. The crowd erupted in applause. Some people wiped their eyes, others stood up, clapping. Daniel just sat there, stunned. For the first time in months, something lit up inside him, a spark, a possibility. As the applause faded, the speaker gave one final message. Tomorrow is waiting for you, but you have to show up for it. Daniel stood up, walked out of the auditorium, and made a decision. He was going to try again, and that one choice changed everything. Success doesn't come to those who quit. It comes to those who refuse to stop. Keep going, because the moment you think about giving up might be the moment before everything changes.